Chinese robotics leader Unitree is heading into what looks like a blockbuster summer. But it comes with growing risks that could stall its momentum. The world leader in humanoid and quadruped deliveries is preparing for an historic public listing as its robots invade mainstream pop culture. It's amplifying focus on incidents like this that make many question the safety of the increasingly autonomous machine. Meanwhile, in Washington, Unitree's meteoric rise is facing growing bipartisan pushback. It's putting the robotics firm in quite the predicament. The faster Unitree succeeds, the more it appears that Chinese robots are headed for a ban in the USA. China's humanoid robots just had their biggest mainstream moment in the US yet, on the season 21 premiere of America's Got Talent. Wu Yufei, a 26-year-old robotics engineer and amateur dancer from Sichuan, took the stage with 8 agile humanoids about the size of Megan. The troupe delivered a flawless synchronized dance routine to Lady Gaga's Abracadabra, complete with flips and kung fu moves. They earned a standing ovation and a unanimous yes vote from all judges. The robots are the same model that wowed audiences earlier this year during China's 2026 Spring Festival Gala. Dozens of the robots dominated the world's most watched television event with a fully autonomous cluster kung fu routine. The spectacle was seen by more than 1 billion people internationally. The robots were developed by the Hangzhou-based company Unitree Robotics, which reported shipping more than 5,500 bipedal humanoids in 2025 and is aiming for around 20,000 for 2026. Launched in 2016 by hardware engineer Wang Xingxing, Unitree also leads the world in quadruped robot deliveries, with more than 18,000 robodogs shipped in 2025 alone. While the gala delivered massive scale in China and in tech media, the America's Got Talent showing brought the robots into everyday American pop culture. The show aired a day after Unitree cleared a major regulatory hurdle for an initial public offering, with a targeted valuation of more than $6 billion. The Shanghai Stock Exchange's listing committee approved its application to join the tech-heavy star market. Analysts expect shares to start trading within the next few months. Unitree will likely become the first humanoid robot maker listed on the Nasdaq style board, but not the last. The fellow Hangzhou-based company, Deep Robotics, has filed for a listing with a post-money valuation around $3.5 billion. Founded in 2017, the robotics firm pioneered 4-legged robots for industrial inspections. Like Unitree, the company initially focused on robotic dogs before expanding into humanoids, though it's still mostly known for its quadrupeds. While Deep Robotics mostly targets industrial applications, Unitree is approaching household name status globally. On the same day of its star market approval, Nvidia announced a major partnership with Unitree. Jensen Huang unveiled the tech giant's reference humanoid platform during his keynote at GTC Taipei.
A reference humanoid robot, all fully integrated. 25 degrees of freedom on each hand, made by Sharpa. 31 degrees of freedom on the robot. 6 feet, 150 pounds. Just like me. The first number is shorter, the second number is bigger.
Unitree developed the body based off its full-sized H2 humanoid, while the Singaporean startup Sharpa Robotics supplied its highly dexterous 5-fingered hands. During his presentation, Wang said humanoids are part of a bigger shift toward agentic artificial intelligence.
In the last 6 months, everything changed. Everything changed because agents were realized, and it converged with the latest frontier models, and it made possible the AI to now do useful work. The technology that we've created also applies to humanoids.
Still, he said more breakthroughs are needed to unlock general-purpose robotics.
But the one thing that is missing is we need a reference platform for robotic systems. These robotic systems are so complicated, so many motors, so many sensors, so fragile, and yet we need to have a way to deliver these reference platforms just like we do with PCs and DGXs and clouds and self-driving cars. We now are going to do it for robots.
The reference humanoid, called the Unitree H2+, is powered by an Nvidia Jetson Thor computer. Nvidia says the system includes tools for teleoperation, simulation training, and its GR00T foundational model for humanoids. It's expected to become available for academic research in late 2026. Pricing is unknown. Until recently, research-grade humanoids have cost well into the six figures. That changed largely thanks to China's aggressive push to lead the humanoid sector by 2027. Chinese robots, like the G1 and Agibot's X2, have surged in popularity among researchers, developers, and increasingly content creators, thanks to their relatively low entry prices. The endorsement from Nvidia is a massive credibility and tech validation boost for Unitree. But the partnership has also amplified concerns in the West about it strengthening Unitree's dominant position in research humanoids, as national security worries about Chinese robotics intensifies. The U.S. House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, led by Republican John Moolenaar of Michigan, just introduced the GUARD Act, short for Guarding the U.S. Against Adversarial Robotics Dominance. The bipartisan bill directs national security agencies to review robotic systems from countries of concern, primarily China. Robots tagged as threats would be added to the Federal Communication Commission's covered list, effectively banning their importation and use in sensitive U.S. infrastructure. A separate bill filed earlier this year in the Senate by Democrat Chuck Schumer and Republican Tom Cotton would block federal agencies from buying or using robots manufactured by foreign adversaries like China. The legislation would put Chinese robots in the same regulatory category as Huawei telecommunications equipment and DJI drones. Because they're bipartisan, the bills have a decent shot at moving forward, especially if they're attached to must-pass legislation like the annual defense bill. Whether President Trump signs off on the legislation probably depends on his relationship with President Xi, which remains unpredictable and chaotic. Leading U.S. robotics companies have expressed support for the restrictions. Agility CEO Peggy Johnson issued a statement endorsing the GUARD Act. In a recent interview with Future's Peter Diamandis, she said the Oregon-based robotics firm has been working with the Trump administration.
We have an administration that's very focused on the humanoid robots not going the same way drones did. We used to have actually a drone industry in the US, and largely it's gone offshore. They're trying to prevent that same thing from happening to humanoids.
And Boston Dynamics sent its VP of Software, Matthew Malcano, to testify before Congress in March 2026 about its biggest overseas rival.
Unitree is rapidly capturing market share in the U.S. university research and law enforcement markets. Researchers have reported crucial Unitree cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Unitree's products have also been seen in PLA military exercises, and its ties to Chinese military have been noted by the House Select Committee on China as well as the Department of War.
Back in 2021, Unitree joined Boston Dynamics, Agility, and others in signing a pledge to not weaponize its autonomous machines. The company continues to insist that its robots, including its new $650,000 rideable mecha, are for civilian use only, and that lethal modifications are not supported. Opponents of a Chinese robot ban argue it could ultimately slow down America's progress in robotics by limiting access to low-cost hardware for companies, universities, and researchers to test next-gen applications. Instead of a sweeping ban, they say the U.S. should focus on building its own supply chain and using smarter security rules. Unitree is just one of a truly staggering number of Chinese companies scaling production of autonomous humanoids. Another leader in the field just started mass-producing its T-800 robots that are named after the iconic synthetic human from the Terminator series. For more on what they're planning, check the related video.